Have you ever felt that cravings control more than just your appetite? They're also affecting your emotions and even your spirit. Many women do face cravings that are more than just physical or physiological. They're emotional and spiritual too, leaving us feeling empty and stuck in cycles that we feel like we can never break free from. I call this way of living being bound in the sugar shackles. And I know this struggle well because I lived it for myself. For 30 years, in fact, I tried to fill all the holes in my soul with all the wrong things: sugar, comfort food, distractions, and I was never finding lasting peace when it came to my health and my weight in particular. Being 100 pounds overweight does have a tendency to weigh heavy, not just on my physical body, but it also weighed very heavy on my mind and my spirit as well. But everything changed when I began showing up daily and surrendering my cravings, surrendering my appetite to the Lord. And as I began picking up my Bible every single day, Jesus changed my heart. And that's what I hope for you as well in this Crush Your Cravings training that I've created just for you. I want to begin with a word from Scripture because when I read Ephesians 2, it was a big aha moment for me, and I want it to be for you as well. In Ephesians 2 in the NIV Study Bible, Paul talks about the cravings of the flesh. Let me read where he talks about that. Beginning in verse 3, he says, "All of us also lived among them at one time, gratifying the cravings of our sinful nature." Other versions say cravings of the flesh. "And following its desires and thoughts. Like the rest, we were by nature objects of wrath." Here's the good news. "But God," verse 4 starts, "but because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace that you have been saved." And I hope, my friend, here that you are here today to experience that grace, to take some inspiration, and to take this training seriously. If God has put something heavy on your heart about your health situation, I am so glad that you are here. Because reading that Cravings of the Flesh was a great big aha moment for me. I finally understood that these cravings have deep roots and that freedom comes from addressing them in our body, in our mind, and in our spiritual walk. And in this 3-part series, I am going to share 5 tips for each aspect of our health, and as we intertwine body, mind, and spirit. 5 tips for each helped me break free, and they can help you too. So let's dive into the training guide. We are going to talk in a 3-part series about our cravings of our body, mind, and spirit, because our cravings can be physical. Our blood sugar could be dysregulated, and we could actually be addicted to food, carbs, sugar, which is a brain disease. Our cravings can be emotional. We can be eating our feelings. I think we all are familiar with that. And then our cravings can be spiritual. And I'm talking about the thing that no one wants to talk about: food idolatry. So we're going to dive in today with the first training about your body. And I'm going to give you 5 tips today on how to help you crush those physical cravings. All right, let's head over to my next slide. Before we begin, I do want to say welcome to everybody. And in case you are not familiar with me, if we are just meeting, my name is Christine Trimpe. I am just a blessed girl who was able to go on this miraculous journey with Jesus to finally stop losing the weight loss battle and gain the victory. And as a result, I've been called into a coaching, writing, and speaking career. I am the founder of the Sugar Freed Method. I'm an award winning author of Sugar Freed, Stop Losing the Weight Loss Battle, Start Gaining the Victory, and my Advent devotional, Seeking Joy Through the Gospel of Luke. I am a sugar licensed practitioner, meaning I can help you figure out if you are addicted to sugar. And I'll give you a hint, most of us are. And I'm also a Christian health and wellness coach. And I'm a speaker. And overall, I'm a joy seeker. And as you can see, my story has been featured in CBN on the Healthy Living segment, Women's World, First for Women, Reader's Digest, Diet Doctor, The Fasting Method, and a couple of local news channels. So I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. We are going to dive right in to the body. How do we crush our cravings in our body? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about how to crush your sugar and processed food cravings and overcome sugar addiction to gain the weight loss victory once and forever. And I believe we all know how very sneaky sugar is. It does promise and it does give us a quick energy boost, a moment of comfort, or even a way to cope with stress. But the reality is, it leaves you more drained, more dependent, and more frustrated than ever before. Not to mention, it piles on the weight year after year after year. But with very faith filled intention and small practical changes, you can retrain your body, reset your taste buds, and crush those cravings for good once we quiet the cravings in the brain. All right. So, and I know that this part probably feels really scary, but literally, I want you to just choose one tip today, possibly just one tip to try at a time and build on that. I always say that small habits build and deliver big success. So, adapting habits is a very kind gift to give yourself. It's the kindest gift I ever gave myself, and it was possible with God's help. And we'll get to that part in the third training where we talk about the spiritual cravings. Okay, so here are my tips for you. First of all, I want you to think about gradually reducing sugar and ultra processed foods from your way of eating. You can actually begin this journey just like I did, step by step, day by day, gradually reducing your consumption of sugar and ultra processed foods. A step by step approach helps adjust your taste buds and makes the transition to healthier eating feel more sustainable. And it feels like you're getting small wins every day. So we start by cutting back on sugary snacks and beverages and replacing them with nutritious alternatives. I have some suggestions for you. Here's some examples of sugary snacks and beverages that you might be filling up on right now. Sweets, we have cookies, cakes, pastries, candies, ice cream, bananas, grapes. They are very high in sugar. Savory, my favorite was potato chips. And I also loved popcorn and crackers and bagels and fried foods, French fries. And beverages, sweetened coffees and teas, soda, juice, chocolate milk, and sports drinks are all loaded with sugar. Here's some nutritious alternatives for you that are low in sugar and carbohydrates. For your sweets, you can make desserts with sugar and flour substitutes. All right, you can choose Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, and add a few berries to it. You can sweeten things with heavy whipping cream and dark chocolate. I prefer 90% or over dark chocolate. And then savory, you can make low carb appetizers. My favorite is low carb jalapeno poppers. They're not deep fried. They're very low carb. They're delicious. You can enjoy some low carb veggies and maybe some dips, low carb dips. No sugars added, nuts, olives, cheeses, and beverages, black coffee, and maybe with a little splash of heavy whipping cream, unsweetened tea, infused water. Right now, one of my favorite go-tos is sparkling mineral water. I just get the plain sparkling mineral water, like the S. Pellegrino or Topo Chico, and then I'll put a squeeze of fresh lime in it so that I know where the flavor's coming from. I'm not a fan of natural flavors, so I do suggest that you avoid natural flavors. All right, the second thing we're going to do to crush those body cravings for sugar is embrace a low carb, whole food option way of eating. As we shift our focus to low carb, or what I fondly call the sugar-free way of eating, whole food options that nourish your body and help you feel satisfied. And we're going to prioritize protein rich foods like meat, poultry, fish, and eggs. And these provide essential nutrients and help keep you full. And they include healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, coconut oil, real butter, ghee, olive oil to add flavor and satisfaction to your meals. And those healthy fats are going to help you feel satiated longer as well too. And then this is one of my favorite tips. We're going to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. So when grocery shopping, if you stick to the store's perimeter, think about it. This is where you'll find the fresh produce, your meats, and your dairy products. You do have to skip over the bakery aisle, though, okay? The bakery section, which is often on the perimeter as well. So these nutrient dense foods that are from God's good smorgasbord, whole foods, will support your well being. And you can fill your cart with low carb fruits like berries, vegetables, non starchy vegetables, meats, fish, eggs, and dairy to create a balanced, nourishing meals. And the fourth tip for your body to crush those physical cravings is to read labels and avoid hidden sugars. I want you to be vigilant about reading food labels to identify hidden sources of sugar. Many processed foods contain added sugars under various names, and avoid products with high sugar content, artificial sweeteners, or unhealthy additives. By recognizing hidden sugars, you can make more informed choices that align with your goals of crushing cravings and achieving better health. And I want you to see the printed copy of this Crush Your Cravings guide, because I actually include a bonus page in there, a one page that you can print off and put in your purse, and that gives you a whole list of the names of sneaky sugars. All right, so don't forget to grab that printed copy, which will be linked down in the comments. And then the fifth tip for crushing your physical cravings is to prepare meals and snacks at home. Take control of your nutrition by preparing meals and snacks at home using fresh, whole ingredients. This lets you control the quality and composition of your food, helping you to avoid hidden sugars and unhealthy additives. So you can explore low carb recipes. I love Pinterest. And you can experiment with flavors to create delicious, satisfying meals that nourish your body and support your overall well-being. I want to promise you, friend, that I do not live deprived living the sugar-free lifestyle. Now that I've shared those 5 tips with you to help crush those physical cravings of your body when it comes to your food choices, I want you to tell me which of those tips you are going to implement today. Which of those 5 tips do you think you can begin with, and so that you can begin building better habits, and then you can come back and revisit and decide what your next step is going to be, and then your next step and your next step. And as I always say, small habits build and deliver big results. All right, now let's wrap up with a verse regarding our body. And finally, regarding your body, your physical cravings. So, if you gradually follow these tips, the 5 tips that I've given you, you can begin to experience the satisfaction of nourishing your body with wholesome choices. I always say that when we crave well and we choose well and we care well for our body, then that's how we can show up better, feeling better every single day. And when we feel better, we serve better. So trust God's guidance as you make intentional decisions about the foods you consume, allowing His wisdom to lead you toward better health and overall well being. Here's a verse for you to jot down and to contemplate over the next few days. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Oh, what a beautiful commandment that is for us, my sisters, to take seriously, right? Honor the Lord with your bodies. I'm so glad that you're here to watch the Crush Your Cravings training video series. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I will circle back around. And stay tuned for part 2. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.